This is me using the 50mm lens. So I think the color science on the new Sonys, people that shoot Canon would probably enjoy it more. And just when you grip it in your hand, when you grip it, it feels like, it almost feels like a DSLR. It feels heavier, it feels better built.
Yeah, there's love, there's hate, lies and games, faith.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to show you why the brand new Panasonic Lumix S5 ii is the spiritual successor to the Pentax K1 Mark II. So as you guys saw in one of my recent videos, I did a comparison between our Pentax K1 Mark II versus the Sony A7 IV, and I was not impressed with the Sony mirrorless. I'm sorry, it just, like, there were so many things wrong with it for me. Like, when you look inside the viewfinder, it looked like, I don't know, man, it just looked like a cartoon version. It didn't show you what you were really watching. It looked like a little TV screen in the viewfinder, and it was not very accurate. And there was a bunch of little things. I'll be honest, the main thing I didn't like was the color science. So I think the color science on the new Sonys, people that shoot Canon would probably enjoy it more. And I've owned Canon cameras, I've owned Nikon cameras, and I like the color science on the Nikons a little bit better, but the Nikons don't really pop to me. And the Sony, I would say the Canon pops a little bit more, but it's a little bit lighter and almost doesn't look real. It has like a softness to it that doesn't, and I don't know, it just doesn't look real. So to me, the Pentax was like the most realistic color science. It looks like what you really see in real life, so it looks more true to life. And now this Panasonic Lumix S5 ii, I've shot with it, I liked it, and it is the spiritual successor to the Pentax because the color science is very similar, and I dare say maybe even a little bit better. But let me go inside and I'll take you guys in to do the review and kind of go over, show you guys some sample images and stuff. Also, for those of you that, obviously, I'm an auto channel, but I'm a photographer by trade. That's what I do. So that's why I'm doing this video, for those of you that are into that stuff. So to kind of help you guys that are creators as well, and you're trying to figure out what's the best camera to get for you, I'm gonna ask a question now. Which route do you think we should go? Because I just went and I got a quote to fully repaint the Tacoma X Runner in an older X Runner color, an older blue that I used to have, and I'll put a picture of it right here so you guys can see. So I can either go ahead and paint the truck that color, or trade it in and get another Boost Blue FL5 Honda Civic Type R and team it up with our S650 Mustang in race red. But I'm going to do either or. So I'm either going to fully repaint and restore this truck to that color blue, and I'm still going to do the interior stuff, because I'm just like, I kept messing with this, and I'm not really happy with the color as it is now. So I think I might just go ahead and do that. But you guys comment below and let me know which one you think is going to be better. Changing the color to that color blue, or trading it in for a Type R and teaming it up with the Mustang. Because the thing with this is that once the color and everything is done just the way I wanted to, then the next thing that I'm going to do is start throwing power at it. So yeah, you guys comment below and let me know. But for those of you that are here for the camera review, let's get to that now. Okay, so here we go. So we finally have the all new to me, well, it's a brand new camera from Panasonic Lumix, the S5 II versus our beloved Pentax K1 II. And as you guys saw in that video I did with a comparison between the Sony A7 IV and the Pentax, one of my complaints about the Sony was the way it felt in your hand. It just didn't feel anywhere as good as our Pentax K1 Mark II. It just doesn't. It wasn't even close. It felt like a plasticky kind of Fisher-Price camera. It felt like a toy. Now, mind you, it is a great camera. It is solid. It has lots of It's a great two-way shooter. It's a great hybrid camera, but the way it felt in my hand just wasn't confidence inspiring. And I'm happy to report that is not the case with the Panasonic Lumix S5 II. This camera, the build quality is almost on point with our Pentax, and I'll show you real quick. So just when you grip it in your hand, it feels like, it almost feels like a DSLR. It feels heavier, it feels better built. Just the materials, the buttons, like everything just feels like a better built camera, right? And then we turn around the K1 Mark II here. So very, very similar. And one of the things that I like about the K1 Mark II versus a lot of the other cameras is basically just the functionality. It's so simple and it's easy to figure out. It's easy to figure out how everything works. Let's turn this one on. Actually, I got to flip the screen, so hold on. Yeah, so it's very similar. If you remember what the Sony layout was like, it was not as simple and as intuitive as this. This is a lot more intuitive than the Sony a7 IV. Very similar to the Pentax and the layout. And then you can change. So let me take you had to take the lens cap cover off on both cameras. So let's hit display. All right, so that's what that looks like there. Let's hit live view. Oh, this one turned off. Let's turn it back on. Hold on. All right. So let's hit the live view here. All right. So obviously the display is bigger on the Pentax versus the Lumix, but I gotta say the color science is very, very similar. Very similar. And I'll put up some test photos here so you guys can see. So I took photos with both cameras. And the color science is very, very similar. Now, I don't know why it looks so different in here. Maybe it's because of the lens. I got the 24-70 lens on here, and I got the kit lens on here. But I'm going to be upgrading this kit lens very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. But if you guys, as you just saw with the test photos, so there's also a 50mm lens that came with this. That is the kit that I got. So that's the 50mm lens right there. And I've used that and the photos came out amazing. Like, I'll put up a couple shots of that here so you guys can see. Yeah, so the 50mm is just amazing, right? So I know when I get so I'm gonna get a 24-60 lens for this one and see how that does. And then eventually I'm probably gonna get a 35mm and an 85mm lens as well and see how that goes. But for those of you that were on the fence about which new camera to get, I highly, highly recommend the Panasonic Lumix S5 II, especially if you're coming from Pentax like I have. Now, I'm still hoping that Pentax comes out with a new DSLR full frame, or they can go mirrorless as well, because it's just certain things like I said, like, me turn this back on. There's the top screen here that when you're using the shoot is very, very helpful, and especially at night, you can hit that button and have it illuminate there. And there's so many different things. The only thing that this really didn't do well was video. But it has astrophotography. It's great for landscape photography. It's great for portraits. And obviously, yeah, so the autofocus would need to be upgraded on this too. So the autofocus, on the Sony, I think is slightly better than the Panasonic, but I would say it's still not bad. It's not a bad autofocus. Let me get rid of that lens. Yeah, you know how these lenses are expensive, so let me put this down for now. But yeah, these cameras are great for anybody that's going to be a two-way shooter. So if you're a hybrid shooter where you're going to be doing video as well as portraits or any type of photography, I highly, highly recommend the Panasonic Lumix S5. If you're more of just like a portrait or, you know, landscape, or you like to do astrophotography, you like to take photos of stars and stuff like that, Pentax is the way to go. Like, it's still, to me, because this is 36 megapixels, this is 24 megapixels. So, and you see it in the photos. So from what I can tell as far as the color science, the Pentax is a little bit softer. The Lumix is a little bit sharper, I would say, even with the kit lens. So for those of you trying to figure out which one is the right one for you, if you're, like I said, if you're going to shoot video and you're going to shoot, you know, video as well as stills, as well as portraits and stuff like that, or any type of photography where you're doing stills, then the Lumix is a clear winner, and it beats out the Sony a7 IV in my opinion as well, like by far. And the videography is actually pretty good too. I'll see if I could put in a quick clip so you guys can see what the video looks like real quick here. All right, so this is me using the 50mm lens, and it looks amazing. The only thing is that it's a prime lens, so it's not gonna record. I can't zoom in and out, so I have to walk to pretty much get the footage. But this is what it looks like on a 50mm lens. Yeah, but it's an awesome camera. Now, the one downside that I'm going to say that I found on the Panasonic Lumix S5 IIs is basically they don't have enough lens choices yet, and they don't have a lot of third-party choices as yet. But also, that was the gripe with Pentax for a long time too. I almost feel like these two should do a partnership. They should work together, because the way their philosophies and stuff are very similar, and I think that they are punching way above their weight. Like, to me, this is, and for those of you who don't know, the Panasonic Lumix uses Leica lenses. So these are L-mount lenses. These are Leica lenses, and they're very good. Now, if you know anything about Leica is like the Rolls Royce of cameras. It's like considered one of the best, compared that to like Hasselblad. So those two are like the top best, and this uses the Leica lenses. So you know your imagery and everything is going to be on point. Pentax, I feel, I still call them the Porsche of the photography world. Like, it's kind of slept on. Most people don't consider them supercars or whatever, but if you've owned one, you know how amazing they are. So I think for the future, I'm going to still use my Pentax to do a lot of portraits and things like that. And then I would use the Lumix to shoot videos with for the channel, as well as thumbnails and things like that. And then eventually, once I upgrade the lenses and stuff, I'm probably going to do some portrait shoots with this as well. I might do a shoot with a model that you guys like. You guys like Tatiana. I might do a shoot with her and use both. And you guys could tell me which one you like better between the Pentax and the Lumix. But yeah, man, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this comparison video. I highly recommend the Panasonic Lumix S5 over the Sony a7 IV or a7 III or any of the Sonys, mainly just because of the color science. The color science is a lot more realistic, and I like the viewfinder. I like the menu. It's much more intuitive. And if you're a Pentax shooter and you're frustrated that Pentax hasn't brought out a new camera in a while, then here you go. This is your new thing. See, and they both start with P. Like, even though this says the Lumix, it's a Panasonic Lumix, and you got Pentax. So might be something in that. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And with that, race car friends out. So yeah, I definitely need to go get a different, like a wide angle zoom lens. But this is what it looks like now in low light. Kind of get an idea what it looks like in the low light with the 50mm and no zoom. So this is good for like doing up close, like those cinematic, if I want to like zoom into the logo and turn out, and you know, doing all of that type of stuff. But yeah, it's awesome. I just need to get like a 24 to 70 wide angle, and this thing will be perfect.